Welcome to WagerTalk Today, the gold standard of sports betting shows where we talk the talk and walk the walk. It's Thursday, NBA primetime matchup. We got marquee college basketball, huge UFC card in Mexico City. It legit is an absolutely loaded show. We've got Premier League of Darts coming up. We've got a bettable NASCAR race. We have a huge slate to get to. Dan, who we got on today's show?
Yeah, Gianni is back. That's right. Everyone's excited when Thursday rolls around. Gianni gets a little break midweek because he doesn't take the weekend off. He's grinding all weekend long. So we give him a bit of a break. Gianni the Greek is back. He's got your Steam report right here at the top. We'll take a look at the Steam sheet, see what he's seeing, some movers, some shakers in action for you guys. That's how we'll kick off the show. And then two great guests. UFC Mexico City, as of right now, seems like, Andy, it will be on. So we're going to talk the main event with Kyle Anthony. He's also got a bonus free play for you. That's how we'll end the show. In between, Joe Raineri, NBA, primetime action, Rockets versus Magic, Timberwolves versus Clippers. How should you bet those? And on the hardwood for college basketball, Michigan State and Purdue. Andy's got darts action for you. We got free plays coming your way, Andy. It is a loaded Thursday. And we also get to give away some free 3-day flex pass action because Andy went 2-0 for you, free on the show in NBA action. You know, I'd like to see some comments about that. We always get the negative comments when we go 0-2, Andy. The 2-0,
Yep.
He did it for the folks.
All right, right out of the gate, Sean has a bone to pick with me. Join the long line of people that have a bone to pick with me. So we have Lacrosse Gate. Something was up in the back end of our system. So I uploaded the lacrosse play, which was Iona plus 8.5. It went into our system that the play started this morning at 6:30 a.m. Clearly, the play does not start at 6:30 a.m. on a Thursday.
You would be betting under if there was any college players playing lacrosse at 6:30 a.m. There has never been a college lacrosse game at 6:30 a.m., Andy.
Yeah. So they tried to adjust it in the back end of the system. It would only move to 8:30. This was a college game that was moved prior to it being there, but it was uploaded in plenty of time. I don't know what went on the back end. Email customer support, but please be nice when you email them. It is not their fault. They work really hard to make sure you guys are completely taken care of. So be nice about it. They always get you guys taken care of, but email support at wagertalk.com. And bone to pick. Yeah, my bad. Sorry for the winners. It was just something that happened in the back end of the system. So I don't know what else I could do. We've been having some problems with it, but just email, apologize for it, but we move on. So, all right.
Sean's all good, and don't worry, Sean. There is plenty of lacrosse action that you shall cash in on. That play, Andy, by the way, was an 8.5 goal underdog that was leading the entirety of the game, and then we nearly got home in the write up. You know, we even said, hey, this money line is live, and the plus 1,200 money line nearly got home. So, like, those are the kind of plays that you're typically going to be getting, folks. So sometimes, there's some malfunctions in the back end. It happens. Don't worry, especially with Andy's team. There will be plenty of more plays for you folks and plenty of chances to cash. So congrats to those who did cash. Sorry for the ones who had to struggle through a little bit of a glitch there. But that's how we learn, and we can make up for that.
All right, so let's do some positives. Great job in the comments section. You guys posted your WagerTalk username, and we went 2-0. Boom. Warriors over team total was never in doubt. Colorado native 8766. Congratulations. I am letting customer service know that you are a winner of the 3-day pass. We had the Pistons minus 7.5. So Dan, let's play the clip on how this
Cade makes
play
the free throw to go up by 8. The spread is 7.5. We need the Pistons to cover. Thunder, open layup, gags it. Put back, gags it. Cover.
Cover. I love it.
Two gagged at the rim, uncontested layups to get the cover at a half. So that was awesome. We want to keep doing more stuff like that. So let's bring in Gianni, and then we'll do today's WTF LFG after. Let's bring in Gianni. Gianni, I don't know if you saw
Welcome
that
back,
clip,
Gianni.
Thanks for having me, boys.
2 layups right at the rim, missed with 10 seconds left. Those are the ones that just feel great. And then you're like, the gambling gods are coming after me. I'm going to lose the next one with the layup. At
the next
rim.
coin flip's not going my way. Yeah.
Nope.
Been there.
How's the week going so far?
Good, man. Good. Got good low volume. Again, as we await the conference tournaments, just staying really selective. About 10 bets so far, 7-3, up over 73 units now for 2026. So doing our job, baby. Just everything's really good. And I feel really confident heading into this next month, because these next 2 months are going to open up a lot of opportunity in college basketball and baseball starting. That first month of baseball has historically been really good for us. And then, of course, the NBA playoffs will roll in, and that's when we start betting a lot more NBA. Because, again, you know, you see how those NBA, we talk about it all the time. It's great having a huge board to select from, but those lines are just so time sensitive the way they move. You just got to be quick on the trigger. But they did bet 2, I'll give real quick, Brooklyn plus 13 and Washington plus 12. Those are 2 NBA sides that were in the accounts early this morning. And there's also a bunch of soccer. If you got the Steam sheet, there's 3 or 4 soccer already on there. I had about 7 or 8 soccer bets. 4 of them, I think, 3 or 4 of them were in multiple accounts. Those were the legit ones. Those are the ones when I see that they're betting it 2 or 3 different ways. Like if we're betting a over 2.5, and then I see in other accounts, they're betting first half over, they're betting team totals over, then that tells me they really like this over a lot. And they're finding other ways to get money down. Because again, you can only get so much down on the total itself. So once I start seeing them getting creative, those are the ones that I've been using for subscribers, and they've been doing good for us. But like I said, there were 7 or 8 of those, and there's a free one if you go to WagerTalk.com. The free one that's up is a premium play as well. So yeah, even some soccer, there's always stuff to bet on. And the NHL is back. And we started seeing them starting to bet already. So, yeah, just good stuff going on. Like you said, UFC Saturday. Football's gone, but we got plenty to get to as March Madness is around the corner.
Kyle Anthony's coming up a little bit later to do some individual game breakdowns. I don't remember a card like this, Gianni, with this many minus 500s, minus 600s, minus 700s. So we got to talk about it. We recorded the UFC breakdown video yesterday. It'll be up this afternoon where we try and break it down. I'm trying to decide if this is a nightmare for you or if this is your heaven, because there's so many dogs and you know they're not all these favorites are going to win. It's just not going to happen. So how do you approach a card like this?
It becomes a nightmare because I'm forced to bet some of these dogs late, knowing they're not going to win. What's going to happen is a bunch of money line parlays are going to start coming in on Saturday, and that's going to force the book to jack some of these favorites up even more. So when you got a minus 300 opener and all of a sudden you're looking at minus 900, minus 1200, like eventually the value's got to flip. And for me, being a value investor and value bettor, that's all I care about at the end of the day. And there's a disconnect between me and some of my subscribers because of that. And that's why I love having the Steam room so I could explain myself, because I try to tell them, like, if you're not comfortable doing this, don't do what I do. I'm comfortable doing this because I'm going to do it every day for a really long time. But if you don't have that patience and that discipline, yeah, this kind of card will bury you. Because it's like you said, some of these dogs are going to stick their necks out and they are going to ruin some of these money line parlays, because you're not going to get 14 favorites. I mean, you can get that, but it's usually not going to happen. And more importantly, if you look at what kind of year we're having in the UFC already, I know we haven't had all that many events, but we're really off balance as far as historical results, meaning we know over the course of 5,000 fights, you're going to get close to 50-50 inside the distance or decisions. That's the history of the UFC. That's just how it's gone since the beginning of time. You know as well on the money lines in the UFC, you're going to get about 65-66% of favorites, 33-34% of dogs, and about 0.5% to 1% of no contest. It's going to happen over statistical significant sample size. So over a couple hundred bets, that's what you should expect. And it's been like that year in, year out. But early on, sometimes or throughout the season, that's not the case. You have an outlier, and that's what we're looking at this year. That's why I picked off a couple dogs last week's card, because heavy favorites were very heavy, meaning we were at about, going into last week, we're at about an 80% clip on favorites. We're still at about over 75% clip. So more than double-digit percentage of favorites winning than they should. What does that tell me? That the books are going to start overpricing these favorites. They're going to have to do that to protect themselves. That's no secret, meaning that the dogs are going to become undervalued. Some of these undervalued dogs will get there and win, and that'll start bringing the balance closer to that 65-35, 66-34. But that's going to happen over the course of, this year, not this next event. But going into this next event, that's what I'm doing. I'm looking for dogs like I did last time. So for me, it's kind of a wait and see which of the dogs I'm going to bite on. I know I went long, but that's why the only premium I've released so far is on a prop. It's a total bet. Otherwise, as far as the signs, that's what I'm waiting on, because I'm not going to lay these favorites. I'll tell you now. So don't even waste your time buying my subscription, because I'm not, if you want, them parlay those -400s, -500s, have at it. But I'm going to look to uncover some value on some of these dogs if there is, and attack the props. But I'm not going to lay these -600s, -700s, because again, those are good, Andy, if you got down early and you're betting from a position of strength, and now you have a decision to make. You could keep that bet because you have a great closing line value, or you could scalp that bet. But it becomes harder to scalp when you get to these high minuses. Like, you could scalp in the lower minuses, but when you get to -500, like, the take back is so high, like the hold is so much higher, that scalping becomes even more difficult. That's why you don't see manipulation on these big chalk. Like, they're not dummying up the big chalk so then they could take the dog and have a scalp. That's too hard to do. The hold is too high with these favorites. So if you see that favorite get steamed, it's legit. Just like if you see the dog. That's the only good thing about this chalky of a card. But yeah, it's going to be difficult to navigate. But you'll find some value. There's inefficiencies, that's for sure.
I mean, you got guys that haven't fought in 2 years. You've got a bunch of contender series guys that have never fought in the UFC. Francis Marshall is a -750. Christian Quinones is a -670.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys are not good, and you got to play -700 on them. It's pretty wild. My only play is a prop. I haven't. Yeah. So far, that's the only thing we've gotten to the window. I love it, but yeah, we were looking at these going, they're not all going to win. They are just not all going to win.
No.
How creative can you get? So, but yeah, like you said, you only need one or two to cash. You don't need to bet everything on here.
No.
So, what do you see in college basketball wise? Anything jumping off the page there?
Yeah, let me give you some college basketball moves that were in the accounts already. Normal board. 778 Chattanooga -3.5, and 789 New Mexico State +6.5. Those were in multiple accounts. Other stuff that I traded, these are three sides. 835 Long Beach State +6, 828 UC Davis +2, and 803 Michigan State +8. Added board games, 306 531 Chicago State +12, 306 533 Alcorn State +7.5, and under 149 in that game. And then 306 507 Maine +6.5. So got some college basketball, and that'll continue. Here's a little tidbit of information for you. The guys that monitor line moves and the market that use that for their handicapping, what I've been seeing, I've said this before, is they're attacking this stuff early. So you'll see this come in between 5 a.m. my time and about 8 before I jump on here. So a couple hours, probably 2-3 hours leading in before I jump on here is when they're betting a lot of the college basketball, NBA, morning stuff, follow through from overnights. But then later in the day at about 1:30, 4:30 Eastern time till about tip-off, almost 7 p.m. Eastern, that's when they're betting again. So you'll start to see a lot of line movements that are legit after about 4:30, 5 p.m. Eastern. Pay attention to those. And that's when they're attacking all the player props. So if you have like your odds logic screen up and you have those player props up, you'll start seeing that glowing, those numbers starting to light up at about 4:30, 5 p.m. Eastern for about an hour or two. They're blasting those props, and those are legit moves. So if you have your stuff ready to go and you have some accounts open, you'll be able to get some first numbers even on those props, but you just got to be ready to fire. So pay attention later in the afternoon. They're betting late too. So just some stuff to monitor.
So there's movement in the morning. I get up and I record the prop show, and literally while I'm doing research, I can watch the lines jump.
Yep.
That early in the morning, it just doesn't take much to move it. I could probably move a weak soft line.
For sure.
What does it take later on in the day to move outside of news or guys sitting? What does it take in the markets later on the day when we're closer to tip off to move?
Then
lines?
It's got to be it's got to be a labeled sharp account. That's what they're paying attention to. And they're going to move right because the limits are higher at that time. So anyone sharp, like when I'm betting after 4 p.m. Eastern, I'm max betting. Everything's a limit bet. Like I usually in the mornings and stuff, like if my limit's 500 with this book, I'll have them tuned for 400. So I won't max him out. Not going to piss him off. But after this afternoon, we're limit betting everything. So I'm max betting through every single account. That's why that stuff's legit. Like that's the stuff that you really want to pay attention to, because that's not just power rated related. That's also information based. As the day progresses and they start gathering all that information from different beat writers, from all kind of different sources that they have, where the overnights and the early stuff that you touched on, where smaller limits and are easier to move, those are almost always power rated related, just numbers. Because I used to be that guy Sunday that had that I'd have my sheet of NFL, and that's what it looked like. Like I'd have my sheet like this, and it would have what our numbers were. And then once they put theirs up, I would look up. And when they were different, I would bet the differences. That's the stuff that happens early, power rated related. Again, later in the day, that's the gold. That's the information-based stuff. And that'll move more significantly also. Like you'll see those 1.5 point line movements on sides that you don't see early in the morning. In the morning, you're seeing half point. Very few big moves unless it's an injury.
Just I live in the world of DraftKings and FanDuel and BetMGM and all these books.
Keep burying them, bro. Keep burying them. Good.
Yeah,
good.
It's my reminder. Don't pound them early in the morning. Don't max your limit. You will get flagged and your account will be limited. It's not worth it on these books. You need to keep your books open. So there was one today, Clint Capella, 4.5 points. I loved it at 4.5, and I was like, don't do it. It's going to move to 3.5. Sure, that moved to 3.5, and I guarantee whoever bet that is now flagged. It was such a dumb number.
It makes us all mad. But that's the game. It's a cat and mouse game. I guess, I don't know, maybe because it's where I grew up back on the East Coast, where it's kind of like you pick a side. There's cops, there's criminals, you know what I mean? Like, so it's like they're trying to get away with shit. They're trying to catch them doing stuff. And I always carried that over to the sports betting world, where it's like, we're trying to get away with stuff by getting past them and getting the best numbers. And they're trying to stop us from doing it and get ahead of us. And with radar detectors and spinners and all the shit that they put on the account to make our life difficult. So it's that game, that cat and mouse that we have to play. As long as they're fair, as long as the fight is fair, and usually we're never in a fair fight, they always have the best of it. I always say, at least give me a fair fight. And that's what I don't like, that I'm starting to see they're not doing that. Like, again, if you're going to offer the limits to one, offer the limits to everybody. That's what I say. Yep. So just like make it fair, and I'm okay with it. They're your rules. I either could play or not play. I could go somewhere else if I don't want to play at your spot. But at least try to make it fair, man, because there's starting to be monopolies out there. That's the problem I'm having.
Agreed completely. There's It'll go unnamed, but a big book that just announced they are now labeling their sharp bettors and whatever sport they killed them on. They're not. You can bet anything you want,
just
except
not
those
that.
sports.
Just not that.
Except
Yeah, that's
that
like when
sport,
they walk me away from the blackjack table. They slowly walk me towards the slots. You can play. You can play. Just don't play it over here. You can play on
Just
that
don't play
side
it over
of the
here,
casino, just
yeah.
not
Any
this side of the
slots, sir?
casino.
Great stuff. Real quick before I let you go,
Yes, sir.
define scalp.
Okay, scalp. Perfect. I love you asked that because there's two different maneuvers to earn with minimal to no risk. There's middling and there's scalping. You middle point spreads and you scalp money lines. Meaning, when you middle a game, you're middling the point spread. What you're trying to do is get team A at one number, team B at a different number, to where if the game lands in the middle, you cash both bets. But worst case scenario is you win one, you lose the other. And here's what I mean. You're trying to get team A at -1, team B at +3. It's that simple. If the game lands on 2, meaning this team wins by 2, you win this bet at -1. You win this bet at +3. You win both bets with little risk because you put up 11 to win 10 here, 11 to win 10 there. So you put up $22 to win 20. That's what you were putting up. But worst case scenario, even if you split, let's say this team wins by 25. You win this bet, you lose that bet. So out of that 11 to win 10, 11 to win 10, you're going to lose 11, win 10 here. You're only going to lose $1. So on that $22 that you bet, you're only lost $1. So you're continuing to put up 22 to win 20, but the most you'll ever lose is $1. That's the middle. You're trying to get the game to land in the middle. A scalp is doing the exact same, but with money lines. So what I'm trying to do is bet this team on the money line at -120 and this team on the money line at +130. Here, I'm not risking anything because here I put up 120 to win 100. Here I put up 100 to win 130. So regardless what happens, if the favorite wins, I win 120, I lose 100, so I break even. If the dog wins, though, I win 130, I pay 120, I net $10 profit off that $240, $50 bet that I placed. So it's a good ROI. You're constantly grinding. The problem is finding those setups. There's guys that do that all day and do nothing else. I know scalpers that make a really good living, but it takes a lot of accounts and a lot of maneuvering. You're going to have to, because you're going to be zeroing out accounts, having to add money here. You're not going to be winning and losing with the same accounts. There's a lot of work behind it. But with all the sportsbook available in today's world, there is money to be made in it, but it does take a lot of time. You can make a living scalping. You can make a living middling still. And those are all plus EV ventures. You take it on. It's better than just throwing your money out in parlays or gambling. I'd much rather see guys that say, you know what? I'm not going to try to be a handicapper. I'm just going to use the market to grind. And I'm going to do that by middling and scalping and efficiencies. I love watching guys grind like that. It's tough to make a living, but you can do it.
Don't do it at the same book.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's number one. Yeah.
Do you have to have kind of deep pockets to do that? Like, do you have to have a lot of action going on, or can you do it just with a couple of?
Yeah,
games?
Great question. Great question. It's almost like I hear they asked me that with card counting. Like, do you need a lot of money? Well, it depends what you're trying to do. If you're trying to make a living off of it, then you got to understand you're treating it like a business. And if you want it to pay like a business, you're going to treat it like a business. And most businesses cost money. So you got to ask yourself, what business can I start with $5,000? What am I going to make off it? If you have realistic expectations, then you could do it with any amount of money. But if you're approaching it still like, okay, well, since this is a gambling venture, my 5,000 should net me 6 million by the end of this month, you're going to get buried. That's not the way to do it. So it isn't necessarily you need deep pockets, but you need discipline. And you'll need deep pockets if you're trying to make your living from it, because your ROIs are going to be small. So you're going to have to be betting a lot to make them living. Like I tell guys with card counting, like, yeah, it's on you how much you want to make. The more you invest in your business, the more you're going to make. but keep it realistic. You're starting a business as a scalper, as a middler. If you're starting a business with 10 grand, then keep the realistic expectations for a 10,000 business, what it should be making. And you could do just fine. But again, if you want to start, if you want it to be your living, like where you could support yourself, your family, and not have side gigs, whatever, you're going to need deep pockets because you're grinding out small ROIs nonstop, small trades, you know what I mean? Small returns over and over again.
Quick from Shane, Michigan, Illinois, going to be a great game tomorrow. Agreed. Any opinion on this game with your power rankings here, Gianni?
Michigan, Illinois.
Yeah.
All right, here's what I could tell you. Where's the game? Where's the game played?
Now you gotta ask questions like that.
I'm sorry. All right, on a neutral court, I make Michigan on a neutral court. It's in Illinois.
Yeah.
Okay. Then Illinois should be about a 1-point favorite, 1.5 at the most. If both sides are complete, there's no injuries or no value over replacement player with the rosters I have. Yeah, I make Illinois at home 1.5 better than Michigan.
It's basically a pick 'em. Yeah. I mean, it is 1.5. Yeah, it's right around there. So pretty much whoever wins is most likely going to cover.
They're going to let the market decide. Yeah, if they hopefully they knock it out of whack and move it up to 3 or give us a pick 'em, and then we may have a choice to make.
Love it. So, all right, Gianni, what do you have up on this Thursday?
Yes, sir. I have my UFC package is already up for Saturday. Number 1 in MMA as we head into this weekend in profit. I have the Steam sheet up with a 4% in college basketball. We hit yesterday's as well. So I have that up. And there's even a soccer premium in there that was upgraded to a premium. I have a NHL best bet, a 4% in NHL, our first since the second half of the season started. And sitting number 1 in profit there in NHL also. And I will be putting together a little hoops package because I do have some strong leans in college basketball and NBA that I should be able to confirm over the next few hours. And once I do that, that'll be up as well. So we have a lot of action ahead. And again, man, just if you've signed up and you're partnered with me for 2026, please join me in the Steam Room Saturday. Bring your questions. And more importantly, stay the course. Stay the course with bankroll management, and we'll do just fine. We double up our bankroll at 400 units. And then we'll reassess. Until we get the 400 units, we've got nothing to do except work.
All right, Gianni. Love it. Good luck on all your plays. We'll see you tomorrow, and we'll get everyone ready for the weekend. Gianni.
Thanks, Gianni.
Awesome stuff. We're going to bring on Kyle Anthony a bit. Let's do WTF LFG.
Yeah, I was going to ask because yesterday, obviously, the lacrosse play that we do, we got the wrong team. We chose that UMass would be, or that Brown was going to be the one who rolled up on UMass, and it would no longer be a close game, and it changed, Andy. So luckily we cashed for the clients, but you're going to give us a WTF LFG, and then we'll talk some UFC with our man Kyle Anthony. What are we doing in this one? Because you right before the show you said, "Oh, I got something good for you in WTF LFG." So let me hear it, Andy.
It's one that almost looks too good on paper. That's
those are the best.
That's what's terrifying about it. Is it looks too dang good. All right, we're going to NHL. We cashed that NHL Hronik again. No goals or no points against that team. We're going to Jordan Kyrou for the St. Louis Blues, and we're taking his over 2.5 shots on goal. Okay. He was on fire going into the Olympic break, 9 games in a row that he had gone over that. How many times, Dan? 9 times. 9 times? 9 times. But here's what makes this just so sexy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times he's gone over against Seattle. We got a 9 for 9er. 9 games in a row, 9 games against the opponent, and they're only asking for -135. This is a Seattle team that gives up the 23rd most shots on goal, 21 shots to forwards and centers. Jordan Cairo is going to be a client play today. So that is, it's not even a WTF LFG. It's an LFG. This is going to be a client
Yeah,
play.
no, let's ride. Let's bet on Caillou, that little bald kid. Or what did you say? Cairo, not Caillou. It's Cairo. Yeah, okay. So we're on Cairo. Let's ride. That sounds good.
Never bet against a guy named Jordan. That's kind of the lesson here.
One.
And by the way, I watched a little bit of that Brown UMass. Did you watch any of it?
Yeah, I was watching over here.
The UMass goalie put on one of the all-time great goaltending.
They get outshot. Like it was there. Also some really bad officiating. I don't know if you saw when the UMass player got absolutely steamrolled at midfield, and then like the ref was just like, "I have to throw a flag." You should have thrown the flag because the guy got jacked up that bad. That's what you should have thrown the flag on. But yeah, Andy, you move on. It was a free play for the folks. Like we said, it wasn't a client play. We cashed our 8.5 with Iona, and that was the one we cared about.
All right, let's bring in Kyle. Tricky UFC card, Kyle.
Yeah, man. I don't envy you guys with this card. Dear God.
I mean, listen, at least we have a card. I mean, I don't know what's the live line on the cartel versus the Mexican government. Is there anything on Kashi or any of those ones that we can try to?
If there's anywhere on Polymarket and Kashi, yeah, there definitely is something.
Got something up.
Yeah, I'm gonna parlay it with my "Will Jesus return by 2027" mark.
And UFOs. I think I want UFOs by the end of the year. I mean, generational wealth.
Well, while I've got you here, Kyle, we're going to do a little bit of an extended segment with you to go over some of these insane lines. But let's start with the main event. We got Brandon Moreno and Lanier Kavanagh. It's a weird situation here. Moreno is supposed to be fighting Albayev. Albayev drops out. So who do they throw in there? A guy who got knocked out in his last fight. Makes total sense to me. Walk us through this fight. Explain these two fighters. What do you expect from this one?
Yeah, so like you said, it's a short notice appearance here for him. We've got Moreno. He's sitting around that minus 205 mark on the comeback here. Loner Kavanagh's about that plus 170. So, you look at Kavanagh and, he's actually a very talented fighter. I think he has a high ceiling in the division. He's a good striker, has power, has ability to look for takedowns, mix it up a little bit, good accuracy. So there are things that he does do well. To your point, he's just coming off a recent knockout loss to Charles Johnson. And that, I think, fight really opens up a lot of different issues here for him and a lot of concerns. And, first round, he outlanded Johnson 36-14. Really good showing, went out there, was explosive, moving forward, gave a lot of, Johnson's a very good fighter all around. Second round was really where things fell off the cliff for him here. His explosiveness, his combinations, just his cardio, everything fell off. And that really brings into question his cardio. We've seen it multiple times in fights that he's even won. We've seen him kind of slow down in that, second half of the fight. And also, can he battle through adversity? That's something else too. Johnson didn't go away. In that first round, he was landing good shots. And then Johnson just, he's a crafty vet, kept coming forward and, couldn't keep the pace up with him. And you look at Brandon Moreno here, guy's a longtime UFC vet, well-rounded, and his strength is normally going to be cardio. He's a guy that can keep coming forward. He can take big advantage of it. And I think it's a couple different layers why he can take advantage of it. Because first being the fact that we just said, Loner has issues with his cardio. Second part being this is in Mexico City at elevation. You're going to have to deal with that now. We've seen guys who have great cardio who can kind of fall off a cliff a little bit when they fight there. And then also, this is Loner's, first time in a 5-round fight. So you've got main event jitters. You've got a big stage for him, short notice, although he was, going to be fighting in I think a couple of weeks or whatever it was. But I just think this is a spot where Moreno can move forward. He can land the better shots. He's going to push the pace a lot. He can mix in the wrestling, tire Loner a little bit. So, the line is interesting here because, it looks like Loner's taking a little bit of money here, but I do like Moreno here. I think that he's going to come forward. He's going to put the pressure on, force Loner to work. And I think a finish materializes in that third, fourth, or fifth round. And you can get off the minus 200 number. You can get inside the distance at plus 175. I think it's a strong number here. Again, Loner early is going to be a problem in that first round, but he's held to the knockout. And Moreno, he's a guy that, has 9 losses, been knocked out 1 time. And that was last fight against Tyra, where he was kind of taken down, scrambled, ground and pounded. So I think Moreno gets the job done inside the distance. I think plus 175 is a nice number.
It's so funny you mentioned like Charles Johnson knocking him out. Like Charles Johnson knocked out Josh Van. It just goes down one of the weirder like things. And also on this card, I always forget Islam Makhachev fought King Green. That's like,
right.
Like you go down Tapology and you're like, wait a minute, that actually
these fights took place. These fights happened.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I'm with you. I loved Kavanagh coming off a Contender Series. That loss to Johnson was frustrating. I'm worried this is too much for him. I hope this doesn't set him back a little bit, 2 losses in a row, because I really like
and he looks good. I mean, he does have the part. This is like just a big step up. You're shipping him to Mexico. I mean, there's so many different layers here that, and I think the like you're saying, there's a short notice, but I think it's a name that people are kind of a little excited about. The knockout does knock it down a little bit, but that a little excitement there. Plus, they're in Mexico. They kind of want Mexican fighters to win, to be honest with you.
Not kind of. We move on to Manuel Rodriguez here. He's only got 6 fights, but I will tell you, someone in our Discord knows him, actually trains with him. So I've got a little bit of knowledge about him, but I followed him on the Ultimate Fighter. Really good. DC took him under his wing, and now he fights Kevin Borjas, who I don't believe we've seen in a while. Rodriguez has all the upside in the world. Can he take out Borjas on this one?
Yeah, so you got Rodriguez. He's at plus 430 around. You got Kevin Borjas plus 300. And, to your point, I'm high on Rodriguez. I think this kid really has the goods here. Tough Mexican fighter. Only has 6 wins. All of them do come inside the distance. And he's got boxing. He's got power. And yes, he's also, training with Daniel Cormier, which I think is obviously a huge thing for him. Fill up the holes, put things together, work in some of the wrestling. The kid's very explosive. And you got Borjas, who's 1-3 out of his last 4, has not looked good. He lost to Joshua Van, which no harm in that, but he was doubled up in significant strikes. But the other one was, Alessandro Costa outstruck him 46-18, knocked him out in the second round. Sumadarji outlanded him 73-16 and won the decision. The interesting part is you look at just round for round, kind of how that went. I mean, the first round, Kevin landed 3 significant strikes, second round 9, and third round 4. So, I mean, this is just historically low volume that this guy puts out. He has 3 losses in the UFC. Normally that's like a death sentence. They're shipping you over to PFL or something like that. And, I think they're kind of keeping him here for a win for Rodriguez and set him up for a nice win in Mexico. And the biggest issue for Borjas is going to be just, he wilts under pressure, and that's all he is going to see here. That's how, Rodriguez fights. He's going to come forward. He's going to be aggressive. He's going to look to land the bigger shots, has the more of the power between these two. And I don't really see this going too far here. I think this is a spot here where Rodriguez is going to land the big kill shot. There's not enough from Borjas that he can really keep Rodriguez at distance and all those kinds of things. So I think this is a spot inside the distance is sitting around, minus 135, minus 140. I think it's a high probability. Borjas can be durable, but I think this is a spot here where Rodriguez is going to initiate the violence, and I think he gets the job done inside the distance here.
Yeah, I mean, he lost an Ultimate Fighter, Joseph Morales, who an adult, like really accomplished.
Good. He's very good.
It was split decision too.
Yeah, right.
Really, really close. So, and boy, when I saw DC was like, I want to work with that guy. That you're like, okay, all right, if DC's with him, then we got to be with him as well. All right. I was going to ask you, most ridiculous comment of the week. Is it Eileen Perez saying she's not going to fight if Macy Chiasson misses weight? Or is it Cheeto Decision King Vera saying they're not going to need the scorecards?
Oh my God. I mean, that's what if there's one thing that Cheeto Vera said before every single fight is, I'm going to push the pace. I'm going to push the pace. And he just never does. Every single fight, it's take the first round off, maybe even take the second round off, and then look to see what happens in the third. I mean, that's pretty much what it is for him consistently. But yeah, that's kind of awkward.
I love that one. Oh, you're not going to need the scorecard. Okay, sure. We got to go over what I guess most ridiculous favorite, or one that you're just like, there's no way I'm doing it. Francis Marshall minus 750, Christian Quinones minus 675, Santiago Luna minus 625, Daniel Zellhuber minus 500. Which one sticks out to you as the most outlandish?
I think it's hard to back Zellhuber. He just lost to a guy that's 39 years old in Michael Johnson, and kind of the same, kind of thing where it's a striker going to put pressure on you. And that's something with Zellhuber. He just does not have the ability to know how to deal with pressure. I mean, I was just talking about Borjas having issues. I think Zellhuber might be worse when it comes to dealing with pressure. He wants to utilize that reach. He has the reach. I don't think he knows how to really use it. And that's where I think, Bobby Green, his chin might be toast. That's kind of why this line, I think, is where it is, because his chin could be toast. But I think that Bobby Green is going to make that a scrap. I think that's going to be a competitive fight. And Zellhuber, what was it? I think out of his last four fights, he has like one submission. So it's not like he's some killer power puncher. So I think that's a pretty crazy line.
That one jumped off the page to me too. I was like, really? You're gonna lay minus 500 on Zellhuber, who I'm with you. I thought that was the most outlandish. So good to hear that. Good to hear we're on the same page on that one. Also, something funny in our group. We did a video. Odie Osborne was last week. It was the full Odie Osborne experience. Just like looks great on the feet, gives up a terrible takedown, and now he's on his back. And so we were doing worst fight IQ in the UFC right now, and the comments were great. And Odie was up there. There was a lot of Randy Browns.
Right. That's a good one. He's the same thing. Has all the tools. Has like the range that he's huge for the division. He's got and then he just makes dumb decisions time and time again. Fights to no game plan, like really no game plan at all. So yeah, he's up there on that list.
I wonder how many fighters are like, God, if I had that body.
Right.
God, if I had Randy Brown's body and weapons, man,
even like Jalen Turner. I mean, these guys are like long, lanky, and then it's like, maybe they don't have. I mean, he's having issues mentally. He's not sure if he wants to fight, come back, and it's like, look at your frame. You are built to do this, or go play basketball or something. I mean, the guy's like huge.
I know. Yeah, you're right. Basketball or UFC, you were literally born to do this. So, great discussion, Kyle. Appreciate you taking the extra time. What do you have up for UFC Mexico?
Yeah, so last weekend, not the greatest performance there for me. A little disappointed in it. Some bad reads, some wacky shit happening. But the great part about this is we've got 10 UFC events back to back to back coming up. A lot of great cards. This one in Mexico, got to be honest, it's a little bit on the lower side here, especially when I know you guys were talking about a little bit about, how wide these lines are. But the thing about it is we got to find opportunities to make money. There are some good spots here. I do have 4% play up right now. I'm going to be adding to that. But as you guys are talking about as well, I'm kind of a wait and see here, kind of seeing where some of these lines are going. Some of these are getting crazy wide and kind of looking to see where these things go. So we'll definitely be adding to it through the week. But action-packed UFC betting season is going to be in full force after this weekend. So locked and loaded.
All right. Get all of Kyle's plays, wt.buzz/KA. You're right, man. 10 straight weeks. Let's go.
And it's it's like a week off or something, and then we're back at it. So this is the run here that it felt like that holiday week off or the 3 or whatever it was, 5 weeks off was rough enough. We come back for a few, we were off again. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. But now it's time. Now it's time to shine. And UFC, listen, a lot of your sports, it's dwindled a little bit here. So maybe UFC is going to get a little bit more of a center stage.
Yeah, Paramount's like, let's go.
Yeah,
yes, please
get these events in here. We didn't pay $1 billion for breaks here, people. So, all right, thanks, Kyle. Have a great weekend.
All right, guys, we'll see you
on Saturday.
Thanks, Kyle.
All right, Dan. What do we want to go over here? What do we
all right, so let's do this. It seems like based on some lack of communication, I will say, Andy, we may not be seeing Joe Raineri today. Maybe just a little bit too much going on for our man Joe over there. So Andy and I were talking in the back end, and Andy said, "You know what? I went 2-0 for the folks. How about I discuss the games that Joe was supposed to talk? And if I go 2-0 again, we'll give another free 3-day flex pass away." So, Andy, we had Colorado native as our one winner, and you're going to have that added, to your account here at WagerTalk. So, Andy, the floor is yours. Houston Rockets, Orlando Magic, Minnesota Timberwolves taking on the LA Clippers. And I have a feeling that your breakdowns for these games may be a little different than what Joe would have been breaking down side and total wise. How are you looking at these games?
Okay, so yesterday I had enough time to do research on the games.
Yeah, no,
so
today this is just vibes. This is where folks, if Andy goes 0-2, keep that in mind, and you comment below with your WagerTalk username. Even if Andy completely whiffs on these plays, you're still winning a free 3-day flex pass. It's that easy, Andy.
All right, which game are we doing first? Let's see if we can go 2-0 again. You want to do Rockets?
Let's do Rockets Magic because this one's at least a little bit tighter. You got the 3-point road chalk here for Houston. NBA standard total 215 and a half. Magic Rockets. What do we think, Andy?
I think the total is just a touch too low here. So I will officially pick the over in this one. We look at the Rockets coming out of the All-Star break. They beat Charlotte 105-101. They lose to the Knicks, but that game's always going to be a rock fight. But Utah and Sacramento are the ultimate get-right spots for your offense, and they put up 125, 128. So I like where Orlando's offense is going, and Thompson is questionable for this game. If he ends up being out, this is going to be great because he's their best defender. He's one of the best defenders in the league. And Orlando, 2 straight wins. Orlando's been a very disappointing team, but they put up 110 against Lakers, 111 against the Clippers. So I think both offenses are potent enough to squeak over this total. I don't see a huge big time scoring affair, but 215.5 seems just a touch low. So Rockets and Magic over 215.5 is the first official pick.
I like it. So we're going over the 215.5. And folks, remember, after this video goes live, comment below and let us know if you think Andy's going 2-0, 0-2, or 1-1. If he does one of those 2-0, 0-2 combos, one of you that comments with your WagerTalk username is winning. So, Andy, we're 1-0. We hit the over there. Now we're taking a look here at the LA Clippers taking on Minnesota. Man, the Clippers, how far the mighty have fallen, even though the Clippers weren't all that mighty to start with. But, Minnesota, 5.5 road chalk. This one's 10 points higher when you're talking about your over-under here. So, Minnesota, 5.5-point favorites. How are you looking to bet this one?
Okay. Their 2 best players, the Clippers, Kawhi and John Collins, are both listed as questionable. That is terrifying. I think John Collins is going to play. It's Kawhi that I'm a little bit worried about. Ankle soreness. He probably, his ankle probably hurts from planting trees, from aspiration.
as he's known to do.
We have a lot of people in the live chat talking about shoveling snow and their back hurts. I wonder if Kawhi hurt his ankle doing some heavy lifting out in the mulch garden. So yeah, I'm looking at recent performances here. Timberwolves, they have won 4 out of 5. Their only loss, they got blown out against Philly. No shame in that. They rebounded and beat Portland pretty close. I'm going to go a little contrarian here. Say that the Clippers are going to cover this spread. This Clippers team just isn't very good. They lost to the Magic. They lost to the Lakers. They are at home, though. And I think the line is telling us that Minnesota should throttle this Clippers team. And the books are telling me a story that the books are saying, be careful. They want you to take Minnesota. No, I'm too smart for that. Clippers plus 5.5 will be the official pick.
As a home underdog, too, I just pulled this up, Andy. This is only the 9th team the Clippers have seen points as they're at home, and they're 5-3 in those games, covering those games by an average of 2.5 points. So, this is the one basket game. I could definitely see that, Andy. So, I like the breakdown there. So we're going over in 9, folks, in case you were wondering. We're going over the 215, Houston, Orlando, and we're taking the dog, the barking home dog, taking the 5.5 points there. Could see a basket game, maybe an outright Clippers win there, but that's how we're attacking it. If you agree, comment below with your WagerTalk username. If you disagree, comment below with your WagerTalk username, and you got a chance to win a free 3-day flex pass. Look at that. Andy, a true man of the people, folks. Hit that like button for the man. If you haven't already, subscribe. You get to check out his prop video that he does every day for you as well. But he says, no guest, no problem. I'll break down the NBA games. Andy,
we got you.
Respect, my friend. Respect.
Yeah.
Titans definitely agreeing with you. Wolves is a favorite on the road. How about no, Scotty? So I like it.
Does anybody in the live chat? We're going to do a bunch of free plays here coming up. I'm inspired here. Does anyone have any strong opinions on the Michigan State Purdue game? I do not handicap college basketball. Interested in the live chat. About if you guys have any strong opinions.
They want to know.
Are we moving on?
Walker.
I believe Neesmith might be back in the lineup. If so, I think we probably are. Ben Shepherd, they're not letting us get away with that 7.5, Dan. He's all the way up to 9.5. 1 game, 2 points jump on the player prop. So we're staying away from there. Jarris Walker, I noticed his number went up. Wait and see with Neesmith. If Neesmith is out again, fire away on Jarris Walker one more time. So, all right, let's do all around the world. And then I got a couple of other free plays that we can go to. So
people are going to be like, hey, can you have guests that are scheduled that don't show up more often so Andy can just blast free plays our way? I'm loving this, Andy. Let's do a little around the world, baby.
I did 2 same game parlays on the prop line. The prop line videos where I go over a same game parlay of the day, and then we do props market watch. That's up at Wager Talk. We hit our same game parlay last night. I like 2 of them tonight, Dan, and I'll go right back to the Suns and fading this Suns team who still doesn't have Dylan Brooks and Booker. Myself and Jesse both did it. So this is a pretty simple one. Lakers money line plus the under 227.5 alt total. You get a really nice plus 110. This is a Lakers team. They front run. They like beating the bad teams and losing to the good ones. I looked them up. Last 15 wins for the Lakers, 12 are against non-playoff teams. This is a Suns team that has scored 77 and 81 points in their last 2 games. So Lakers money line and under seems to be a really, really good way to attack that game. Darts Premier League, by the way, 5% best bet is up. That goes off in about an hour and a half. I see a ton of you have already got that play. If you haven't gotten it, it's still up. But again, buy a package, not just one play. 10 days for the price of 7 is a no-brainer. But I'm going to take Gerwin Price over Ozempic here, Dan. Our good friend, Michael Van Gerwen, we call him Ozempic because he lost a bunch of weight kind of out of nowhere. We're fading the sick. Actually, you know what, Dan? This is a trend on all around the world. I'm just now realizing we're fading all the hurt people. The Suns are hurt. Michael Van Gerwen didn't play last week. He was apparently really sick. He was on antibiotics, and he has to play this week to try and get points because there's limited events. So we're fading the sick guy who was on antibiotics and darts. So we'll take Gerwin Price. And then we're going to fade a guy coming off an Achilles injury. God, I am not having good karma out to the world today. Just fading the injured. DeJounte Murray under 24.5 points, rebounds, and assists. He came back last game off the Achilles injury. Looked good, but he's on a minutes restriction. He had 18 points, rebounds, and assists, but he's only playing 25 minutes. He had 13 points, 3 assists, 2 rebounds. This line feels way too big. I know he's playing the Jazz, but he's on a minutes restriction, so we'll take the under. RJ, he just came back. And honestly, I didn't know he was back either. It was just like, oh my God,
we'll give you a pass.
Back.
We'll give you a pass this time, RJ. It's Andy's job to know that he's back. So we'll give you a pass, RJ.
Well, I didn't even know. I didn't know he was coming back either. So that's a team to keep your eyes on. They traded their first round draft pick. They have motivation to win. They are not tanking. So
fair.
Trust me, if Tyrese Halliburton came back and was like, hey, I can play, the Pacers would be like, sit down. You're not playing. We're tanking. Sit down. But the Pelicans, they're good at is Markkanen officially out? because I had these notes. If Markkanen is out, Filipowski absolutely props over. Filipowski to the moon if Markkanen is out. I had that circled as well. That's a fantastic.
I'll look at
prop.
the hour by hour report.
Yeah, tell me.
Let's see.
Let me know about that.
12:45 report. Yeah.
I also got to bring up. There's a short notice replacement fighter. Her name is Regina Taryn. She's 21 years old. You should look her up on social media. But she's also really good. What'd you find out about Markkanen?
Markkanen out tonight. Injury, illness, right ankle sprain, right hip impingement. So yeah, he has one, two, three, four, 5 players on the roster that's out. Keno George is also
Keontae George. Yeah, it also in parentheses should say needs a better draft pick.
Injured. They're injured.
Yeah, so this Regina Taryn, she's plus 150, 21 years old, incredible Mexican prospect. So they bring her in to fight Ernesta Caracate. I don't hate her at plus 150. She is balls to the wall, Dan. She does not get tired. She's got that 21-year-old energy. She can strike. She can take you down. And she's fighting a tall, lanky kickboxer with no power. And Caracate should not be minus 180. Taryn was already training for a Muay Thai fight tonight. She's in shape. They made it a catch weight. I really like her. I think she's going to do well in UFC. So I think plus 150 is pretty good. So, yeah, freak injury. I don't know what happened. I don't know.
Yeah, you got it tanked. Yeah, something like that. I maybe got hit in it. Maybe it's a tankle injury.
I was going to say a sprained tankle.
Yeah, sprained tankle.
I mean,
it has to be.
Who put that T there? So
when they call it a hip impingement, him playing would be an impingement to our ability to get a higher draft pick. So we are impinging upon him. Yeah.
Oh God, so good. Oh, there he is. Boom! Congrats on the big win, Colorado.
Congrats, bud.
Awesome. I'm putting that in your account this afternoon. Yeah.
Thank you for commenting. And again, folks, comment below. WagerTalk username. Typically, after you're done watching the video, just to be safe, comment below with your WagerTalk username because we do this so often. If you're clicking around, you're watching the timestamps. Just to be safe, drop a comment. It could say anything. Leave your WagerTalk username, and boom, you're entered in. So that just a rule of thumb. Just comment after the video goes live, and hit the like button while you're down there.
Let's go over what we have upcoming because starting literally right now, we have a big slate going into the weekend. So 5% darts play is up. 5% UFC play is up. We will have, I think we'll have boxing. If we have any golf plays, you guys will get those. Any rugby plays or cricket plays, you'll get those. And Dan, I know you've got a lacrosse slate. So all of our plays are on my page, wt.buzz/AL. You can get the individual plays, but we're still running the 10 days for the price of 7. You're getting you're getting 2 5% plays if you get it right now. Now, you get 2 5% plays. So it pays for itself. What are you expecting from lacrosse for this weekend, Dan?
Yeah, so Andy, tomorrow the Premier Lacrosse League's Championship Series kicks off. The Women's Lacrosse League Champion Series, which we don't bet as much, but if we do get any, big info, anything like that, that is going to run on concurrent weekends, folks. So if you grab the 10 days of all access for the next 2 weekends, you're going to be getting all of our lacrosse plays. That the volume, Andy. I'm not just going to pick games to pick games. You know what I mean? Like tomorrow, there's one game. I lean towards the over in that game, but I'm not going to play it until we actually see these guys play. So New York Atlas, they have to play, a game on Friday and then a game on Saturday. So that Atlas game might be bettable. We have college lacrosse games that we'll really like. So Andy, if you get 10 days, I'd anticipate anywhere from, depending on what we like, anywhere from 6 to 10 lacrosse plays or more throughout that 10 days of span. Is because we like weekday action, and with this wrinkle of having both the women's and men's professional leagues going on these next 2 weekends, that's where we've made a lot of money is in this champ series, and I'm hoping we can do it again for clients and for people free here on the show.
Yeah, don't you threaten me with a good time, Dan. 6 or 7 lacrosse play. So really excited.
Over the next 10 days, that's why that one's a no-brainer, man. You save $69, and that's just the action that I'm going to have for Andy's team. We have UFC events, we have darts action, we have golf action that's going on. So for what you get with Andy, some people are saying, oh, I need more volume, I need more of this. You can pick and choose. You can ride every sports league with us. That's what we suggest doing. Or if you just want to tail that stuff, you get the other stuff. It's icing on the cake. So WT.buzz/AL. It's going to be a great 10 days, folks.
Yeah, getting some love on the Lakers fading the Suns. I think that line's only -5.5. Suns team is so awful. They're so bad right now. So, all right. Well, we'll come back tomorrow and see if the Suns are as bad as we think they are. Also, keep your eye on the Bulls and the Hornets. We talked about them regressing to the mean. We'll keep an eye on those teams over the next 3 or 4 games, see if they regress back. So, thanks everyone for watching. Hit the like button. Comment below with your WagerTalk username. If I go 2-0 or 0-2 in the NBA impromptu plays, someone gets a free 3-day pass. Let's have some pretty good luck tonight, guys. We cashed on 2 missed layups at the very end of the game, so let's hopefully
keep it going
tonight, right it into the weekend. Good luck, and we'll be back same time, same place tomorrow to get you ready for the weekend.